Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, they're only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. Some may and some choose to believe it, but I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Hey, Cora Nightmares here, and Red Wolf and Willie. Noah's in. Yeah, it's been 2 freaking weeks since we got to stream. That's like a record out. As we get more people in here, I'll explain to you guys exactly what's been going on. Hey, Red Wolf. I have not seen Halloween Ends, and I have so many friends, people I know in day-to-day life, as well as my friends here, who saw and hated it. My one buddy is an old wrestling buddy of mine. He's always been a big nut for horror movies. He was pissed. He was all over social media screaming about how mad he was. He wasted his money. Yeah, Modern, I see. It looks like notifications are going out. What the hell's happening? Hey, Brian. Hey, Krusty's here. It's been a while since we've streamed, pal. Barry says 3 months and not a single wiener pick. What gives? Well, I will tell you this, Barry's, at least to all of you guys who are channel members, part of the Size Doesn't Matter crew, today, Susan actually did pay up. Remember, I told you guys I started the channel memberships because Susan said she'd give me $500 to do it. And I'm like, I like money. And they did pay up. She gave me $500 and I think $5 for every one of you that joined up in the first month. And then, I mean, today seems to be going okay, but she does that and then some days decides not to give us any notifications on streams anyway. Why would you suppose that, Alex? I grew up as a Looney Tunes fanatic. That was my stuff. I couldn't wait for Saturdays for Looney Tunes. Hey, Kobe. Wow, 3:30 a.m. in there in the Philippines? What are you doing up? I'm glad you're with us, but what are you doing up? I can't do that no more. I'm such a bitch. When I was young, when I was young, I used to work maintenance at McDonald's. I was like 16. And I was never a drinker, but I liked to go out and hang out with my friends. I would get home at like 2:30, 3, and be to work at 5. Think nothing of it. You'd go home, you just close your eyes for like half an hour, 45 minutes, open them back up, cleaned up, brush your teeth, and go to work. Willie says, so glad you're watching Gravity Falls, my favorite Western cartoon, best cartoon villain too. I was shocked by how good the first episode was, Willie. I mean, as I said in the intro, I was expecting it to be good because you guys had spoken so highly of it. But I really liked it. I love the kids. The characters are just so good. Hi, Jill. She says, I miss your FFAA. Oh, so do I. I was having a best day, just a call offer from my client to work in the airport as ticketing agent. I hope we'll do best for best of luck to you. I hope it does go well for you, Jill. Very best of luck. Oh, Wolverine says, check my last post. Hey, didn't even see you had one, Wolverine. I missed it. There it is. Wolverine says, I'm going to bed because I have the night shift requesting early sticky stuff. All right, we'll give a quick sticky stuff for Wolverine. Avatar The Last Airbender's best Western cartoon. I mean, I'm not in Avatar. I loved it. But just as far as the best, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I have not seen The Proud Family. That's not a bad one to put on the potential list too, Kyle. I have not seen Proud Family. 8:39 p.m. in UK. Yeah, I know you guys are. I know you UK folks are 5 hours ahead of me. That one I knew. Krusty says Susan's done with her fits. What the hell happened? Did we quantum leap into a normal universe or something? I don't like to get too enthused about it because, I mean, I'll take it. She sent out some notifications. I'm like, thank you, Susan. But it just, in the past, it's never meant that it's going to be a consistent trend. Now, now there's a few of us in here. I'll give you guys an update. There was no Free for All Friday last Friday, which again generally never happens. We always have Free for All Friday because You would not believe, you guys, what a bitch it is to try and get your driver's license here in North Carolina. And it's just because there's such a huge influx of people, they're overwhelmed. So we had been to the DMV twice. The first time we went down, it took us over 2 months to get an appointment, but we went for our appointment. It was my fault. We didn't have all the paperwork we needed. They asked for a ridiculous amount of paperwork. So I went back. My wife made a new appointment, but I went back to get in the standby line. So I go back, to go in the standby line, and the lady at the desk says, "Well, I'm sorry." It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She says, "We don't take any more walk-ins. You'd have to get here early." I'm like, "Okay. What time do you open?" She says 7, but you better be here by around 5:36. I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." So last Friday, I was at DMV at 5:10 a.m. to be able to actually get an opportunity to go in and get my license changed over. Then we get in at 7 a.m. and for the next 3.5 hours, the system was down throughout the state. So at 10:30, they finally started calling people in. I finally got my turn, got done. By the time I got back with the vids I still had to do for that day, there was absolutely no chance of streaming. I did nothing for the rest of the day right until I went to bed, but make videos. So that's why it takes something extreme. That was the extreme thing that happened that kept us away from Free For All Friday last week. Satan's asshole. Yeah, Brian. Hey, Lex, Halloween is just Christmas for gay people. I like that. DMV stories. I love that, Simpsons. That's good. Friends was okay to me, Kyle. It was okay. I like it. I mean, I'll sit and watch it and have some laughs. But it was nothing that was ever high on my list. Yeah, Anonymous. It was, 5:10 a.m. in line, standing outside the DMV for almost 2 hours waiting to get inside so we could wait 3.5 more hours for the system to come up, and then another about hour and 15 minutes before I got my appointment. So that's how we missed Free For All Friday. Michael says, "Hey Curtis, discovered your channel because I was feeling nostalgic on Dragon Ball, and I don't regret it. Love your content and your personality. Have a good day." Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I appreciate that. Hey, Tsunami, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey Curtis, Indy really showed Stanford was spot. Oh, that was ugly, Tsunami. Yikes. That was as bad a Notre Dame offense as I've seen in the last 15 years. That was terrible. Red Wolf says, "What's my favorite horror franchise movie?" It would be an individual movie. As far as favorites, it's The Shining. I always loved The Shining. I think Nicholson, that was one of the great horror movie performances in history. The franchises I'm not as big on because I liked the initial Child's Play. Because I don't know why. I think the idea of the demonic doll was scary and it was done well. But then, of course, they really dropped off. But as far as Freddy, or not even Freddy, but Jason and the like, when they start doing the stupid shit to where, again, it's still supposed to be a human of some sort that's gone bad, and they take the axe to the middle of the forehead, and then 2 minutes later, they're gone and up and running again and stuff. It just got so stupid, I lost interest. Now, Freddy, I can't include in that because the cool thing about Freddy movies was he was in a dream, so anything was possible. He was in your dreams. So that would probably, of those slasher movies, Freddy would be my favorite for that reason. Hey, Chrome. Yeah, I was just explaining to the guys it was a DMV nightmare last Friday. That's why we didn't have it. And now we haven't had streams during the week. Because it's a good news, bad news things, guys. Doing the content we're doing now and having shifted direction with the channel has gotten the channel's health better than it has been probably in the 2+ years since they first really axed us. There was that moment where Susan just said, somebody at YouTube just discovered something, probably one of these streams or something, didn't like what we said, and just obliterated the channel as far as sending out this channel to be found and seen. This is the best shape it's been in. However, doing these types of videos and in this number, I've been working on videos anywhere from 12 to 15 hours a day. So there's just I just can't stream and do that too, and I really want to concentrate right now on getting the channel's health up. Jill says, "What are your thoughts about Resident Evil 4 remake?" I'm game. I liked Resident Evil 4. You know what? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind trying it again. Friday the 13th is your favorite slasher franchise? Yeah, yeah. I say Big Green. My big thing was I just went with Nightmare on Elm Street because I liked the fact that at least with Freddy, the insane parts of it made more sense because of the the dream state. Oh, okay, Chrome. Yeah, no, like I say, that was the first Free for All Friday we missed in a long time. Yeah, Robert Englund was brilliant. You're right, Willie. Robert Englund was absolutely perfect in that role. Yeah, absolutely. Michael Myers will always find you, indeed, Wizard King. Oh no, I didn't hear that. Brian says, "Have you heard Kevin Nash's son just passed away? His best friend and his son the same year. I could not imagine." Ooh, no, that's awful. No, I can't even imagine outliving one of my children. Ooh, ooh, that's terrible. I hadn't heard about that. Sorry to hear that. Sarah says, 2 days ago I started a Minecraft project, and I'm turning a huge cave into an amethyst cave. It's so beautiful. Oh, that's cool. Well, you guys know I love Minecraft. Hey, Evgeny. He says, one Russian guy went to a fortune teller. She told him he won't be drafted. When he found out that he will be drafted, he beat her up and was arrested. Now he won't be mobilized after all. Wait, I don't mean to laugh because she got beat up. I probably shouldn't laugh at that. But holy fuck. Evgeny, if that's real, come on, guys. Think of of the pure irony wrapped up in that. So she was right all along, but she had to get a beating to get there. Jesus Christ. Excuse me. Yikes. Oh, that's awful. Let's see. Willie says, had to go to DMV to get plates for my car a few weeks past. I don't know if God was handing out miracles, but I was in the building for 45 minutes tops, only spent 130. Yeah, you take that and run, Willie, anytime. Both the 45 minutes and the $130. No, my license cost me, total between the license and the fees for applying and everything, 220. But I have a CDL. I mean, obviously the regular operator's licenses wouldn't cost as much. Tsunami says, I cheer for ND when my Ducks aren't playing and they suck right now. Not a good football team at all. No. And there's a lot of issues, Tsunami. It's no one thing you put on. The quarterback play has been terrible. Quarterback play has been awful. But there's some issues with the offensive coordination as well. Defense has been all right. Defense has been okay all year. Lick says, fun fact, Friday the 13th Part 9 tried to be a tie-in with the Evil Dead movies and said that Jason's mom brought him back with the Necronomicon. It's also the worst movie in the franchise. So, Johnny says, considering how putrid the Irish played against Stanford, I might put money on Vegas. I wouldn't. Well, you guys know that's the only sports betting I do is college football. And I actually do pretty well at it. I haven't played anything last 2 weeks. No, last week. Last week and a half, I haven't seen a game. I only play when I have something I really like. I'm not going to I never tell anybody else what to bet. If you want my opinion and following Notre Dame as closely as I do, I would be a little afraid to do that, though, Johnny, because the team matchup against Vegas is so favorable to Notre Dame, way more so than it was against Stanford even, that it's hard to believe that they'll come out that flat 2 weeks in a row. That game would scare me a lot. I would have felt better about maybe taking a stab with Vegas with UNLV if they had dusted Stanford, had beaten Stanford. Rover says, hello there, Curtis. Nice to join you again on this fine evening. My cheeks are clenched and ready for the usual roller coaster of conversation topics. Always good to keep the cheeks clenched, Rover. Always good. How much vacation do I take annually? Pretty much the only, as a matter of fact, I have some coming up next month. Oh, excuse me, guys. Um, as you guys have seen, pretty much the only time I go on vacation is when we get to go to Disney. That's it. Other than that, like my wife is not here right now. She's back up in New York seeing family and doing some family things. I don't leave much. Now, that's also going to, like I told you guys, I'm, 12, 15 hours a day I do on videos right now. And over the next few weeks, I'll be adding more on top of that because I'll be doing stuff in advance for the Goosh and for the YouTube channel because we are going to Disney in November. It's going to be cool for us because for me, excuse me, because I think it's just my background driving truck. I don't mind long drives. So this will be the first time we ever get to drive to Disney because from where I am now, it's only 8 hours. So we'll be driving down instead of going through all the hassle and rigmarole of flying. Big Green says, so against my better judgment, I wrote an appeal to Twitter, but I'm still permabanned. For spam, apparently? But fuck that, I bought more Dragon Ball manga. I'm up to sell now and a Kuribo keychain. Oh, cool. I heard about that, Chrome. She says, by the way, Hunter x Hunter first chapter in about 4 years just came out. The new volume is out the start of November. Something you may want to keep an eye on is they're releasing a new Gon and Killua. Oh, PB. Oh, wow. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Zuchen says, well, at least you didn't have to deal with a racist black lady at DMV. No, actually, there's a black lady that works behind the desk at our DMV, and she's an absolute sweetheart. She made a bad situation that much better. Really, really nicely. I liked her a lot. We were chatting a lot while I was there. Because that's what I told her. So leaving after the second time I was there, I said, I think you and I are best friends now with the amount of time we spend together. Big Green says the only time Jason lost me was when he got sent to hell or to space. That's what I mean. They just got too carried away from me, Big Green. Yeah, that got too weird. Yeah, Johnny, we were talking about that same thing about how Big Green and I were about how maybe getting banned from Twitter really isn't that big a deal. It's not that bad a thing. The only reason I keep it now is, as you can see, I've never pushed for a Twitter following because again I don't like Twitter, but it comes in handy sometimes in the fact that we have a completely irresponsible news media. So sometimes it is fun to go on there when you're trying to find out more about an issue or a topic, and you can see video of what actually is or went on and stuff like that. That's the main reason I keep it. Chrome says, I'm curious, Curtis, have you seen the Bayonetta 3 drama? I have not. It's a perfect example of Twitter rallying an angry mob together on BS claims. Oh, geez. Well, they're good for that. I just haven't seen much of anything. I'm out of the loop because, again, just the amount of hours I've been making videos every day. Big Green says, the worst thing about my Twitter ban is that my bookmarks are gone. I had some funny videos saved. Oh, yeah, that would suck. Yeah, I get you, Big Green. That would kind of suck. Lick says those slasher movies have some really stupid lore due to the writers constantly changing the canon. Like originally, Michael Myers was a druid. Halloween Ends sucks ass, by the way. Don't watch it. We were just talking about it earlier, Licks, and somebody had asked if I had seen it. And it's not something I would have flocked to anyway. But I have zero interest now because so many of you guys here have told me that it's terrible. And then so many of my friends that, have been day-to-day friends have said the same thing. I was telling the gang, one of my old wrestling buddies, Haas, was on Facebook the other day going nuts because he's always been a big aficionado of horror movies, and so he, made it a point to go right out and see it, and he was pissed that they got his money. He was so mad. Shelby Wright says, doing anything cool for Halloween? No, we just enjoy having the kids come to the house and looking at the costumes. They're always so cute. Our neighbor told us that last year she got about 300 kids. So I've been stocking up on Halloween candy and eating some of it that I'll have to replace. Um, excuse me. Sorry again, guys. She said that they used to get around 600, but like most communities now, they do a lot of that trunk or treat, and a lot of the kids go there. But holy crap, 600! Jesus Christ! I thought back where I was up in New York, we'd have some pretty big nights where we'd get like maybe 150, but woof, some pretty big Halloweens, I mean. But yeah, we just enjoy seeing the kids in their costumes and stuff. Mr. says, hi Curtis, by the way, in case you're not aware, Bleach Anime is cutting certain things from the manga. I don't think that's that unusual. But so far it's been scenes that don't really matter, but to balance that, they've added scenes that are more and got cut off. Hold on just a second, guys. This is Spaz Kid. I just want to make sure everything's okay. It's always a fun time at trunk or treat up until that weird guy shows up. Yeah, yeah. They did the trunk or treats up in New York too when I was there. Solara says people constantly come to my house for Halloween. I give the young kids double the candy and tell the older ones to fuck off before I call the police. We give it to everybody. I don't mind if they put even just a little bit of effort into being into a costume. I don't mind. Excuse me again, guys. Just want to make sure. Spaz because I haven't been feeling good. Says he's feeling some better. Let's see. If I were in hell, I'd be asking Luna for a date. VHS Frank says, I like Luna. Especially in this last episode. And again, I like that they're working on the familial connections in the show too. That really worked for me. That was cool. I liked it a lot. Jill says, Curtis, do you agree that some modern games need a verification before playing it, like a personal phone number to avoid hacking cheating? I don't know. I'm all for anything that can prevent hacking and cheating. I wouldn't mind giving out a number to something like that, but I can understand why some people would. And again, I apologize, guys. I'll just take a moment here. Brax did get his new car. It was really, really cool. Let's see. Lick says Michael Myers is in the movie for like 10 minutes total. Really? The main plot is about some incel twink who they try to replace Michael with and then kill him at the end, so the whole movie is pointless. Yeah, like I said, any interest I had has been lost just because of things like this. I mean, friends like Licks are telling me that it's just awful. Good point. Chrome says, do you trust Blizzard, who has no problem selling your personal info with your phone number? Yeah, this is true too. This is true too. Chrome says Bayonetta's voice actress claimed the reason she's not voicing her in the new game is because she was offered only $4,000 to voice the full game and people should boycott it. Okay, Chrome's still writing more. Big Green says Halloween isn't a big thing here except for kids. It's mostly the time when you can watch horror movies and Halloween related stuff. You're still one of those weirdos who watch TV and candy. Yeah. See, I enjoy having the kids come to the door. There's just, especially now, we don't have any little ones. Even our grandkids have gotten bigger. So it's fun to see the little ones come up and in their costumes and stuff. Let's see. Mr. says, but how did you like Bastard? Oh, Bastard's really good. I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, Alpha's been bringing us a lot of really good stuff lately. Yeah, very very good show. First episode of Bleach returns CSM2. We are blessed. Yeah, a lot of good shit going. Excuse me. Jill says, whoops, sorry, gotta go. Curtis, bringing my cat to the vet. She's been sick lately. Anyway, see you when I see you. Peace. Oh, well, thanks for being in while you could, Jill. And gee, I hope everything works out okay with your cat. Robbie says, Family Guy videos, so funny. Yeah, I agree. Peter, Griffin, and Glenn Quagmire are my favorite kind of people in the series. Even Brown is annoying. Yeah, it's always tough for me to determine who my favorite character is in Family Guy. I know the one I can't stand the most is Brian. Fuck Brian. He's such an asshole. Oh, okay. Chrome says she broke her NDA, non-disclosure agreement, making a video on this that has near 10 million views. Well, it turns out every word she said was a lie. She was offered $16,000 to $20,000 for 16 to 20 hours of work on the game. Whoa, what is with people? They should take legal action against her. Wizard King says the only one who can defeat Michael Myers is Betty White. Fair. But I mean, yeah, the trunk or treat Lost Ranger, yeah, that's become more and more popular. The trunk or treat. Hold on a second, I'm just looking. Spaz Kid just texted me, look at this job I found. Operations manager, on-air announce talent for WWE. That's a tough traveling gig right there. Luke says, well, now I'm definitely buying the game just to spite her. Kyle says, Brian's an asshole, but Herbert is a creep. True, but I can't stand Brian even more because at least Herbert, it's hard to describe. Herbert's a creep and should be taken out of society altogether. But at least he never purports to be anything else. Brian likes to think he's not an asshole. Big Green says, yes, shame she lied about all that. Her voice was a big part of the character. That's really too bad. What's wrong with people? And Chrome says, now a ton of people are rallying behind her based on no evidence to boycott the game. Some are even harassing the new VA and brigading the director Kamiya on Twitter. That's because Twitter, the Twitter sphere, is loaded with fucking morons. It just is. And even after all these years of getting burned by it, people still go on there and will not take a moment to verify anything they see on there. If they see something and it's something they want to be true, they determine it's true. Oh, wow, that's cool. That's pretty good. I like that. Wizard King says Brian needs to meet Old Yeller. She's British. That's her problem. Tsunami says, oof, that's rough. Yeah, you're right, Mortem. Stupid people seem to keep spawning more stupid people. You know what I've always said, too, about Twitter? Now, another thing I don't understand with people now, obviously, on social media, a majority of accounts are anonymous, and I don't have a problem with that. But when you have people who are becoming like thought leaders on Twitter, you know, building these great big followings anonymously, I don't understand how people are stupid enough to fall for that. I mean, if you want to have a conversation anonymously or something like that, that's understandable. A lot of people don't want to give away their any type of personal details on a social media platform, but to blindly, and that's literal, follow someone, take their word as gold, and allow them to manipulate them when, as far as you know, they're not allowed within 50 feet of an elementary school is kind of crazy and creepy to me, especially when you see that most all of these accounts that are only known because of their Twitter presence. In other words, it's not people that came from another venue or something, an actor, actress, politician, whatever. They use skeevy tactics to get a following. They don't even necessarily believe the shit they write. They just know what to write to trigger people and to get them to want to speak into their little echo chamber. And they merrily go about their business following them. It's just stunning how stupid people can be. Chrome says, like, for instance, she claims the games alone have made $450 million, which is impossible. The series total has sold $3 million. 3 million times that by $60 and you get a rough ballpark. Yeah, and it's certainly not profit. Certainly not all profit. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I'd heard that one, Lost Ranger. Another stupid thing on Twitter might be all those birds aren't real. People saying birds don't exist. They're drones the government is using to spy on people. What the fuck? Oh, the stupidity on social media in general, but on Twitter in specific, is just endless. Another thing I've seen that really disturbs me, I mentioned it to you guys before, and you see it going on all the time, is here at YouTube. People become a fan of someone on YouTube and completely lose sight of anything else. I mean, they will make excuses for them when they act like absolute scumbags. They will defend them till the end without ever requiring that person to at least defend themselves or explain why they may have done the sniveling, cowardly, or obnoxious thing that they've done. And being a YouTuber, I've said it myself, listen, if ever you guys thought I was being dishonest with you, or you thought there was something I did that was untoward or whatever, the last thing I would want is for you to not call me out on it. And that's really disturbing too. And you see it all the time. Doesn't matter how scummy a thing somebody does. If they're a big name on YouTube or a big Twitch streamer, there's idiots out there trying to spin things for them. It's like, that makes you a complete dolt. I don't know. Zuchen says, my grandfather lost his tongue during World War II. He never talks about it. Mr. says, it does seem like some of the stuff that voice actor said just wasn't true. But at the same time, the VP of Platinum Games was out of line, calling non-Japanese people insects and stupid. I don't know. I'd have to see. I didn't see what took place there. But regardless, and if that happened, yes, that's wrong. But it doesn't excuse another wrong. Chrome says, you know the story of Lazarus? Yeah. She compared a story to that and talked about rallying against the fat cats. And the new VA has no right to call herself the voice of Bayonetta. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are some YouTubers I can't stand, Zuchen? I don't think I have any. I've always been you guys know how I look at things. If I don't like something, I just don't watch it. So I don't really, I've got a lot of YouTubers I like, but not a lot I don't like because I've forgotten about the ones I didn't like because I don't stick with their stuff. The only one I can say that I've found to be, I don't watch any of his stuff, but he's constantly getting press, it seems, so he stays in your face. The one person I just personally find distasteful is Ethan Klein, H3H3. But other than that, I can't really think of anybody because, again, if I don't like someone or don't like their content or don't like them, I just move on and forget about them. Mortem says, after fucking up the UK in just 45 days, our Prime Minister Liz Truss has resigned. I saw that, Mortem. The shortest reigning PM in history. I saw that. Brian says the amount of people that don't understand the concept of walking around the pile of shit instead of through it baffles me. I agree 100%, Brian. I agree 100%. Lost Ranger says that's how it should be. If you don't like something, just don't watch it. Don't draw attention to them. Yeah, and that's the way I've always looked at it. I mean, any type of entertainment isn't for everybody. So if I see something I don't particularly like, I walk away. Now, if I had reason to believe that somebody on YouTube had done something nefarious, that would be different. But if it's just the case of I don't like their content, I'm not going to stay around and complain about it, or I'm not going to complain about it at all. There's plenty of other people making content that I do like. I'll go watch them instead. So that's why, again, I don't really have anybody I dislike, because the ones I haven't taken a shine to, I've probably long since forgotten about. Chrome says, Kamiya didn't call non-Japanese people insects. He said people who don't follow his Twitter rules insects. Keep in mind he doesn't speak English. Kamiya can be kind of a hothead idiot on Twitter. Right, and I'm sure that's true, and it's not a particularly nice way to conduct yourself, but it certainly doesn't excuse anything that this voice actor did. Shelby says, I finished my proposal for my thesis today. Grad school is starting to feel real. Good for you, Shelby. Good for you. Rover says, Liz Truss folded under the pressure like a red hot chocolate bar. Boy, it's looking like here. And again, you guys know me, I've been following politics my whole adult life. And especially off-year elections, in other words, even years where we don't have a presidential election, this is the case. It goes back and forth typically, who's, as far as the teams, who's riding the wave right now. Is it Republicans? Is it Democrats? But it's starting to shape up. It looks like, because now the wave you see once you get into October is typically the wave that will wash over the election. And it's looking like this could be unless something really major happens, this could be a really bad time for Democrats. I think the Republicans take the House easily. And I think they're probably going to take Senate back. I had initially saw it as maintaining a split, but I'm starting to lean towards, I think they might end up taking Pennsylvania and Georgia, which I didn't think they would, and potentially even Arizona. But Walker and Oz Mehmet there, they might win. Robbie says, so funny that Peter Griffin falling down the stairs. Yeah. I always like after his falls to I don't know why, I'm just easily amused. Last few episodes of Smiling Friends. I don't know, Anthony, about either RDC World or last few episodes of Smiling Friends. As I said, with what we're doing now, it's resurrected the channel. It's brought it back to life. And so at least for the time being, I'm not going to veer from that path very much. Here's Bayonetta's VA's video on it. By the way, if you want to laugh, she posted 4 clips. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to check Chrome's link real quick, guys. Excuse me. Friends, Worldlings, Bayonetters. Oh, jeez. Let me just check this real quick, guys.
Bayonetta 3. The Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $450 million.
Dollars?
Including merchandise. As an actor, I trained for a total of 7.5 years. 3 years at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic
I will say this,
Atlanta,
the way she comports herself is very obnoxious. She just looks like an unlikable person.
Legendary Larry Moss in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles.
And what did they think this was worth?
Here's my issue with it. regardless of anything else or any of the more fine details, it's their game. If they're going to say this is whatever the number is, this is what we're willing to pay for a voice actor, you either accept that job or you don't. What the fuck she want? Apparently she lied about what she got offered anyway, but regardless, if you didn't want it, don't take it. And then just say, hey, now this character is going to have a new voice actor because they aren't paying enough. But whining, bitching about it and making shit up and going on a little tantrum and telling us how you trained for 7.5 years. Who gives a fuck how often you train? This is what they're willing to pay for that voice actress. You're not willing to work for that? You don't get the role. It's not rocket science. You didn't have... The thing of it is, there are writers who created the characters. There's a whole staff of people that puts that together. You're one small part of it. Yes, it seems like a bigger deal because you are not the face, but the voice a part of the franchise, but you're replaceable just like anybody else is replaceable. Brian says, curious, were you ever into auto racing, NASCAR, Formula One, or any type at all? I've been getting into sim racing and loving it. I used to get into sim racing back when NASCAR 2003 was out. I had a bunch of us that used to play. Never got heavily into racing. I watched NASCAR here and there, but never really got heavily into it. But yes, sim racing is fun. Favorite Klondike bars? The originals. I like the original Klondike bars. You merely adopted the Bayonetta. I was born into it, molded by it. Rover says, yeah, that's what I mean. She just, you don't like what they're paying for that role? Don't do it. Don't do the job. It's no different than anybody else. You know, as a professional wrestler, same thing. Any form of entertainment. Hey, Curtis, you come work this show with whoever, Raven, and you guys beat the shit out of each other. All right, what's it pay? $50? No. Except the only thing is I would say yes because I just wanted to be in the ring. But what I'm saying is you got to weigh that. It's like, okay, I'm probably going to get a concussion. I'm going to get some lacerations and but I'll get to put on a show. Do I want it or do I not want it? And then if they come back and say, no, just kidding, I'll give you the 500, you go, oh, okay. And if not, you don't do it. Lick says, if the new VA gets into any trouble, I'll sign up to voice her. I can kind of do posh. Tsunami says, I think the Republicans take the House by blowout and the Dems keep the Senate, but it's going to be real tight. Oh, that's what she said. Yeah, I think you're right on the blowout in the House. Before this latest wave, I would have agreed with you, Tsunami. I don't think so. I had it staying likely at 50-50. Now I think it goes at least 51-49. If I had to put a prediction down, I'm going to say 52-48 Republican. All the momentum is swinging with Oz in Pennsylvania and with Walker in Georgia. And it's less about them being quality candidates than it is about their opposition being poor candidates, is what I believe. Same as why, Trump lost. There were tens of millions of anti-Trump votes. And now you're having the same thing in reverse. Chrome says to voice the entire game would take her 16 to 20 hours total. She claims she would get 4K total. Nope, she was offered 16 to 20K, which according to multiple big VAs now is way above industry rate. Yeah. And like I say too, Chrome, whatever she was offered, you don't like it, don't take it. If you want to become a pissy little bitch after that, that's fine. You can always get people, again, who are agog and, I'm a big fan, so everything you say must be true. That kind of idiocy drives me nuts. I mean, if it's somebody I'm a fan of, I would tend to hold them to a higher standard, not make excuses for them. Kyle says, I call Bayonetta Bayonnaise. Rami says, how am I going to be the Goosh member? I need to have an account to be the Goosh member. How do you make an account for the Goosh member? I don't have one. If you can help me. You just have to go on. The site link is, in all the videos, description of the videos. You just go in and sign up. Brother E says people realize that Biden is an incompetent potato and that social justice mindset led us into the current recession we're in. Yeah, let the Republicans take over. Yeah, I do think a lot of, well, it's not thing. I mean, all the surveys, all the polls bear out that the number one thing on Americans' minds, the number one concern is the economy, and Republicans score way, way higher on economics than do the Democrats, because it's historically Democrats are big spenders. Willie says at this point, I try to stay away from politics. However, anything that could slightly keep Biden and Harris in check is fine by me. I'll tell you, that's a real Democrat issue too. Is 2024? Biden says he's running again. That would be, I mean, everybody, whether you're a hardcore supporter or not, has to be concerned that the guy is losing it, because there's a lot of telltale signs there. And Kamala Harris is wildly unpopular. Her approval ratings are not only well below Biden's, they're well below Trump's. I mean, they're in trouble. Let's see. Robbie says, "Have you ever heard about Putin, the tyrant? Putin, the warlord's worst tyrant I've ever heard." Chrome says to make it far worse, she waits literally till 2 weeks before the game launches to maximize damage, and on top of that, she waits till the weekend the devs are out of office to celebrate game going gold. Yeah, I mean, it's just excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. She just sounds like and looks, the way she presents herself, like an obnoxious human being. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Big Green says maybe it's a good thing I only played the first Bayonetta, not the sequels, since they're Nintendo exclusives. All this drama is leaving a bad taste in my mouth for a franchise, I'm sure. Let's see. Does she need to slap her belly and have a manager? Brian. Kamala. He was a good dude. The guy that played Kamala. He really was. I got to meet him a few times. Really good guy. Sad that he passed. All right, guys. Well, I got to go. I apologize for there being no Free For All Friday last week. You guys know why. And again, the streams will probably be not much for the time being. And I really do miss doing them. But again, I think it's more important to get the channel good and healthy. And then hopefully once we can get things flowing smoothly again and maybe get back to doing streams more regularly. But this was fun. This was like this was like a release. Yeah, I just nutted basically having Free For All Friday. Did you guys catch it when it happened? Or I'm an old man, probably didn't really register with anybody. No, because it was just like it built up. I never go that long without streaming, and I really like having this connection with you guys. So yeah, it was a nutting. Is nutting a proper descriptor? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Thanks, guys, for hanging in with me. Here it comes. 2 weeks worth of sticky stuff built up in this old ass body. Oh, this is going to be some primo shit. It's well aged. Pumfu pumfu. Sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you back there, because we'll bang, okay? Flashlight like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, and it's always just aged to perfection. Goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh.